There you go. Hey, Tubes. Jonathan was wrong. Truth and budget. Sorry, the angle's a little Dutchy. Got a Dutch angle going right now. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick update of what's going on with the why that video is up to almost 4,000 views now. So anyway, some guy named Psyman Dan, I think the Psy stands for PsyOp, made an attack video around my Polaris video, which is so hilarious because I'm using a piece of paper to attempt to diagram something. How dare I attempt to use what resources I have, and people still not be able to wrap their head around concepts. Because light travels forever. Okay, so here's the thing that is funny to me. So let's say, just for sake of argument, that light for some reason travels forever, which is dumb. Why would light travel forever? Even through quote unquote space, it would be subject to all sorts of stuff. Like, what about all the stuff passing in front of it? What about any gravitational effects? Like, what about all the there's just things that would reflect reflect and alter the light's path, that we would not be seeing anything if it for some reason were able to travel forever in a straight line. Because once again, nothing is still. Everything's spinning and expanding, and so there's no screenshot. There's never been a time. Once again, I'm saying all this under your model, because I don't believe in any of this. But under your guys' model, everything's been expanding since its inception. Everything's been flying away from each other at very fast speeds, and everything's moving, and while moving, everything's spinning, and everything's moving away from each other and spinning and rotating in different directions all over the place. Because keep in mind, in space there's no flat plane, even though they can't make a model without a flat plane, which is a riot to me. I saw a thing, explaining gravity using balls in a blanket. So apparently gravity is like two fat guys sitting on a bed, and whoever the fatter guy is, things will roll towards them. But once again, what's stupid about that is it's using a flat plane to show gravity, but it's not showing anything. It's showing that a heavier object on a blanket will cause more drag on the blanket. That doesn't prove anything. How does the same force that holds down the ocean, which would anyone have any idea how much the ocean weighs and how difficult it would be to hold down? So the same force that holds down the ocean holds us down and allows us to move freely. That the same force holds a friggin' 1 ounce bird down that is able to fly through the air. We are held down by the same force that holds down the ocean. That is, I don't even know how many, I can't even have an accurate number of how much the ocean weighs. So yeah, the same force that's holding down the ocean is holding down us. Come on. So light is traveling in a straight line forever and ever, but nothing is moving in a straight line. Nothing is remotely still at any point in time. And I love the concept of space travel too, because you can't not only can you not provide thrust, so you can't move yourself anywhere because you can't push off of nothing. But there'd be no way to navigate because everything's spinning and moving and expanding. How do you triangulate against objects that are traveling thousands of miles an hour? That woman had some swagger with her walk. It makes me sad what happened to women, man. I see women wanting to be men, and like men wanting to be dead. I don't know. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, it's just logistically impossible. You wouldn't be able to accurately travel anywhere because you would have no idea where you were going because there's nothing to measure off of. You know, and you keep hearing people come at you like, oh, you know, the distances are so great. Were the distances so great, that would complicate things further. Like, people just don't understand basic physics. People don't have fundamental skills anymore. Fundamentals have been eradicated in all aspects. That's why no one's good at anything. If you don't know the fundamentals, you're not going to be able to build off of anything. You just know tricks. You know, if let's say you're learning how to play guitar, but you don't bother to learn any chords. You just learn how to do like sweep arpeggios and crazy stuff. Will you actually be able to play guitar? No, but you could whip out a guitar and like look really impressive, you know, for like a second. But if anyone's like, "Oh, play a song," you wouldn't know how to play a song. And that's kind of how like people operate. You know, the people don't want to be well-rounded and like have actual knowledge. They just want to be able to whip out tricks. They just want to be able to do a trick. But anyway, so Simon Dan, this guy with almost 140,000 subscribers, 140,000 subscribers, made an attack video on me. Can you believe that? Supposedly it was requested by one of his Patreons. I would love to know which Patreon, who's funding him, that accidentally somehow stumbled across my video, as if. What's great too, it's been a couple days, so I feel comfortable talking about it, is that they were able to find out my where I work exactly, and call and complain and say that they were a customer and that I'm making videos at work and blah 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 blah. So they tried to get me fired from my job. Isn't that nice? They tried to affect my job by writing an email and saying that they were a customer and blah 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 blah. Now here's the thing that these people don't realize. My customers love me. I'm good at my job. I love making people happy. I love when people when I'm washing the car and they got a big smile on their face and they're giving me thumbs up and they're leaving there and they're rolling down their window and saying thank you and blah 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 blah. That's great. That is a great feeling. And also it makes it so your clientele likes and prefers you. I have people that are like, "Oh, cool, you're working today? I'll be back with all my family's cars." And I will see that person 3 times that day because they want me to clean their car. Now, do you think, other than the fact that how would any of regular, normal New England working class people know that I'm on a truther Christian YouTube channel? I don't talk about it with anybody. No one would recognize me, And if they did, they wouldn't be like, "Oh, they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, wow, you washed my car, holy crap," that's bananas. They would never, ever would any of my customers complain about me saying that I'm making videos, all right? That's just dumb. That shows your lack of understanding of the whole situation, of me, of how I operate, and just people in general. This ain't Whole Foods, all right? And let me cue you in on something else. I'm good at a job where not a lot of people are good at it. It's hard to get good people to do the work that I do because it's one of those jobs that like ex-cons and stuff get. And I don't mind that because I'm invaluable. I'm awesome at my job. I'm awesome at customer service, and I can fix things. I can fix the Trek. They don't have to call maintenance and get maintenance down and pay them and do all sorts of stuff. I can do minor repairs. Stuff jammed. I can get out a come along and some crowbars and a hammer and fix it all out. No problem. That makes me invaluable. Because I'm only making $11 an hour. So they're not going to get rid of me. I was told to not make any more videos at work. That's all that came of that. And I'm sure they thought it was funny. That is all. So I just find it interesting that these like, I don't hate people who think that the Earth is a spinning ball. I think that's dumb. I think if you actually did I think if you actually sat down and thought about it for a split second, you would actually realize that we're not living on a spinning ball. Because do you experience living on a spinning ball? I don't. I've traveled the country. Heck, have you ever taken an airplane and like looking out? But people don't want to have their reality shaken because it's scary. They feel they suddenly it's like you have the carpet pulled out from under you. And if you're one of these intellectual types, you judge and measure yourself by how indoctrined you are, by how much of their information you have memorized. But that's not knowledge. The fact that people have replaced, visualization and critical thought with memorization is scary. People are unable to think. They can memorize stuff, sure, but they can't think. You can pose a question to somebody and they literally can't work it out because they can't think. All they've been programmed to do is just spit out information that they've had memorized. So there you go. That's why people are like, "Oh, didn't you pay attention in school?" Yeah, I went to school. I went to college, dude. I studied biology deep, and guess what? It didn't happen by accident. If you actually study things, I studied astrophysics. I was into that stuff since I was a kid. I was reading scientific magazines and, articles and all sorts of, textbooks and all sorts of crap when I was a kid. All right, I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. And as you study and as you grow older and you become your own person and capable of your own thought, stuff doesn't add up. You'll see a structure that is a plasma jet that is thousands of light years long, and they'll tell you that a plasma jet is a temporary object that will dissipate within tens of 20s of well under 100 years will this thing dissipate. But the size of it meant that it would have to be traveling like 4 times the speed of light to get to how big it was without dissipating. And like stuff like that, people they just can't understand because they can't think. How can an object exist that is a temporary object and would have to, it would take 1,000 years for it to get as big as it is, unless it happened instantaneously, but nothing travels faster than the speed of light, so it's impossible. See what I'm saying? All these things, there's all these things that just don't add up under their own laws, under their own rules. I mean, basic Newtonian physics discredits the spin. Basic. You would not be able to operate an airplane on a spinning ball. You would not be able to operate a lot of things on a spinning ball. Nothing would grow. It's a spinning ball. It doesn't make sense. But you're still thinking of space and there being space. There's layers that you need to undo because we're programmed. We're indoctrined. If you think school is a place where you go and you learn and it's good for you, you haven't been paying attention. Who's funding the schools? Who's in charge of the show down here? You call them the government. I say you need to read Ephesians 6:2. They run the show down here and it sucks and it's dumb. They're teaching kids like bad information. Common Core is nonsense. Now they got tranny story hour where they got men dressed as women in garish makeup talking to children. It's disgusting. But you think that's okay? Harmless, no big deal? You want some weirdo in a dress and panties with your son on their lap? I don't. Wouldn't. It's all just, for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, But there's a clear and obvious attack on the flat Earth reality right now, and it's a pushback, it's a psyop. We'll see. I mean, they're seeing how indoctrined everyone is, and the fact is, people are very indoctrined. People don't remember what the sky used to look like. People don't understand how localized light works. People don't understand how perspective works. People don't understand how the basic laws of physics work. And that's where we're at. And that's why it's so hard to convince anybody of anything, because they are unable to think. All they can do is access the information that they have memorized. They can't manipulate it. They can't measure it against other information. They're just incapable of it. I don't know why. It's just their gears don't turn. But yeah, so 140,000 subscriber channel going after me. Bit sketchy. What's interesting too is it's another Brit. It's another one of those British people, or offshoots, whatever. The Brits seem to be the main force in counter information, fake information. I've seen a lot of channels that are just going after truth and attacking truth, and they're all British. So I think that's interesting, because Britain is one of the seats of power that people don't really think about. America, Canada, they still pay homage to the crown, man. It's a fact. All the oil companies, the petroleum companies, are owned by British companies. But whatever. So, it's trying to come back around to my point. Keep getting sidetracked. But yeah, it doesn't add up. Why it's not like it's a hilarious video. You know what? Because I have a little diagram, because I don't have access to a computer or programs. That's the thing too, man. You need to do the thinking for them. If I had if I was able to type into a thing and have it on a screen showing what I'm talking about, then people would be, wow, look at that. Look how crazy the orbit of Polaris would have to be. Wow, look at what light would look like if it were just continuing forever in spaghetti strands throughout reality, because everything's spinning. Everything, if this is my perspective, I'm facing you guys, and this is my perspective, but I'm constantly spinning around, that's just so dumb. what you don't understand is Polaris is so far away. It's like, what you don't understand is that then that makes the whole thing more improbable. The only thing that makes any of Polaris probable would be if it was very close. Saying it's a further distance away makes it stupider. You're so okay. I don't want to insult anybody, but it's just really. I tried to explain it to someone as like, okay, try to imagine a stick. You know, a nearly infinitely long stick is plugged into the North Pole. You know, and try to imagine the path of that stick from standing back and looking at it. You know, through the movement of the galaxy, through the movement of the solar system, through the movement of the Earth. You know, that stick would be all over the place. And at the end of that stick would be Polaris. And if you people understood centrifugal force, the further out something is, the faster it has to move to keep up. Which is why centrifugal force causing stuff to stick to the Earth is dumb. Centrifugal force would cause things to fly off the Earth, because the force would be brought outward. It's dumb. I remember in school being like, oh, it's like if you take a bucket of water and you spin around in a circle. That would only work if it were like a concave Earth. If we were inside of it and the oceans were on the bottom of it. It doesn't. Okay, you know what? Try that experiment again, except hold the bucket outward like the oceans are. And guess what? Water will go flying everywhere as you spin around like an idiot. Because of course it would. I love how they come up with these literal, they're like baby experiments for babies. Like spin around with the bucket. Look, as we put balls on a blanket. These balls on a blanket represent gravity, which we still can't explain. It's still a theory. We're using balls on a blanket to explain how things that are so large we don't have real numbers to represent them, and we're explaining their movements using balls and a blanket. Okay? And I'm the idiot? I'm the simpleton? You can literally know that stuff like that exists, and that's how your scientists operate, and I'm the idiot? Art thou joking? Dost thou jest? It's just insane. It's all dumb stuff. But because, you know, they're in charge and they have, you know, lab coats and glasses and, you know, titles, you know, little pieces of paper, I love to, I'm trying to discuss things and people are like, oh, show me the, you know, the certified, you know, scientific derp. It's like, hey, knuckleheads. Hey, McFly. Hey, guess what? They run the show. Who do you think funds science? If you're not with the program, you don't get funding. Look into the whole friggin', you know, global warming nonsense. If you didn't go along with the global warming thing, you stopped getting funding. If you go against the social norms within the scientific or medical fields, you cease to get funding. You cease to get work. No one will hire you. That's what happens. You talk about stuff too much, they'll just kill you. It happens. Do I expect any of the, globists? Do I expect any of them to do any research? No, they're incapable of it. Were they capable of doing their own research, they would see that, you know, what they fervently believe is nonsense. They would see that all their precious NASA quote-unquote photos are artists' renderings. All those are artist renderings. They're artist composites. They're composite images. They're not real. None of those images are real by their own definition. By their own standards, they are not real. Now, I went over to the video where this, that this guy made, and I, started to address some of the people in the comment sections. And as usual, I made too much headway. I started giving evidence and proof and supporting with videos and all sorts of stuff. So they ceased to do battle with me there. There's been a few trickling on the my video, but like I said, the views have slowed down dramatically. The comments have slowed down dramatically. So I was able to respond to a few. I mean, as far as there being 1,000 something comments, I'm not going to pour through 1,000 paragraphs of people being like, "You're an idiot, kill yourself." Like, why am I going to waste an afternoon reading that? There's just no point. Literally people telling me to die, which is really, really, really funny, because I don't want you to die. I want you to stop and reflect upon that. You want me to die because I think and believe differently than you. That's pretty effed up, right? That's gross. That is gross. If you want me to die because I believe that the earth is flat and stationary, and you believe that you're living on a spinning ball through chaos, even though there's no evidence for it. There's zero evidence. There's no evidence, none, that shows movement or curvature. There are naturally occurring things all over the earth that are large and flat, and nothing moves. Because why would it? It doesn't make sense. We're spinning thousands of miles an hour. Nothing would, Then we have, we feel G's. We have G-force things. The G-force tests. G-force, can kill you. But we're spinning, almost 2,000 miles an hour. But no one notices or feels it. It's stupid. It's all very stupid and groundless, and the only reason why people believe it is because it's the first thing you're told. You go to school and you're handed a globe and a dinosaur. You're told you're a monkey. You're little kids, so you're like, "Oh, monkeys are fun. I want to be a monkey." It's all juvenile. What? We kind of look like monkeys, so we're monkeys? Are you dumb? That's it? Do you know how a monkey's skull is shaped? How their rib cage is shaped? How their hips are shaped? How all of their major bone structure is vastly different? How they have a ridge going down the top of their skull to connect muscle tissue that we have zero trace of. We have a ridge that goes this way. So we're the only primate on the earth where we have a ridge like that, and everyone else has a bone ridge that's used for connecting muscle tissue, but we don't have it. We must evolve to not be able to chew as well. It's a shame that we lost all of our musculature too, huh? So it's so weird how we evolved to be physically lesser. It's interesting how that works. Hey, let's evolve to lose our fur and then immediately start making clothes for ourselves, because that makes sense. All right, 1 second. Oi! We got a Jesuit Pope. Yeah, so what's with that? Pope making out with an imam? That's cool, huh? Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. So I got on about something else. I guess this is kind of like a rambly updater anyway, so I was just letting people know what's up with that. How they came after me where I work to try to affect my job, which is just sick. Seriously, you want me to be homeless and or dead? You know, gross, dude. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. You know, I mean the fact that like all you knuckleheads are like going to hell is heartbreaking to me. I don't want you to go to hell. I mean, you're a bunch of stupid jerks, but I don't wish ill upon you. The world's full of stupid jerks. That's just kind of the way of the world nowadays. I pity you. I pity how miserable and stupid you are, how confused and empty and just like how pointless your life must be. You know, pleasure? Is that all you live for? What's the point? What an empty existence. You're a mutant monkey living on a spinning ball, hurtling through chaos, and then when you're dead, you're dead. What's happened? That's so bleak. It's so bleak, and that's what people think. That is the mainstream thought is that we're mutant monkeys living on a spinning ball, hurtling through chaos. We could die at any second because none of it matters, and when you die, that's it. You know, flick a switch. I can't believe people live like that. It's so sad. Why do you pity me, man? I have love of God, man. I am all about it. I love the Heavenly Father. Like, who's cooler and better and smarter and more adaptable and like wittier and quicker and more tactically minded and better than God? Nobody. God works on levels of intelligence that, you know, is just it's amazing. You can look back and you know take a look at the Bible and see all the layers and everything set. You know, because you have to keep in mind He knows the beginning to the end, but we still have free will. He knows everything that we're gonna do before we even do it, and He lets us do it. Because that's the way it has to be. We have to make our own choices. There just has to be repercussions for those choices. A river without boundaries becomes a swamp. So there needs to be boundaries. But all right, we're getting into a half hour apparently. At me at a Dutchy angle, looking like crap because I need to shave, and I got a major neck beard going right now, and I do not like the neck beard. I've just been, you know, I worked 40 hours in the last 3 days. Worked 12 hours, then 16 hours. Been working a lot. Been a busy boy, trying to put some money together, so I can find a place to live. You know, if you know people who are so offended that I think the Earth is flat and stationary that I should die in the streets, that is just so funny to me. Seriously, what a sick person. You know, I disagree with him, and that makes me hate him, so he should die. That's fucked up, right? Excuse my language, but that's the danger of democracy, all right? Democracy is 51 kills 49. All right? That is democracy. Hey, do you want to know the riddle of democracy? 51 kills 49. How many were right? 0. Welcome to democracy! Real quick, let me explain why the mystery religions, the cult of Babylon, Satan and his knights prefer democracy. Because all you need to do is get the majority of people under your control, get them to think and act the same way, because otherwise, you know, they'd feel shame, and you know, don't want to feel shame. So basically, get people thinking and feeling a certain way. Importantly, feeling. Use their emotions against them, and then get them fired up and then make them vote a certain way. All right? Democracy sucks. You have a bunch of people that have no business voting on anything, deciding your fate. That's terrifying. I am 100% against democracy. It's bullcrap. Other than the fact that, like, we don't get to vote on anything anyway, and it's not like the stuff we do get to vote on doesn't even matter, and I'm not even sure that is like taken into effect because they just do whatever they want anyway. But the thought that someday that there could be a vote that is literally over my life and like the lives of others, where I will be outvoted because I am the minority, and that is the dangers of democracy. Look at Iraq. Yeah, I'm sure they're looking real good under democracy. I mean, were things great before? No, but that just doesn't. You don't replace one horror with another and then be like, well, at least there's a horror that we're under control. Stuff doesn't work that way. But anyway, yeah. In summation, Simandan, SCIMANDAN. Oh, he also has a soccer channel. He has a FIFA/football channel that you can subscribe to as well. While he's out, debunking truthers, he's also running a soccer channel. What a oh man. Oh, so dumb. Seriously. Like, stuff is just really dumb sometimes. Just gotta take a look and be like, boy, is that dumb. Anyway, love you guys. Even y'all that hate me and want me dead, I love you too. Just obviously not as much as the good ones. I don't know. I don't understand how literally just me thinking something different than you harmlessly would want you to kill me, or at the very least have me living in a homeless shelter. That's effed up. Like you would sleep better at night knowing that you caused that like you ruined someone's life because they think differently than you, harmlessly. Like, I'm not even talking about you, like, you think differently than me, like you think, like a nailing kids is okay and crap. Like that, what am I? That's not, that's not a matter of different opinion. That's a matter of right and wrong. I'm talking a matter of opinion. Like, oh, you prefer, cheeseburgers to pizza. Kill him! Kill him! He likes cheeseburgers! We only eat hot dogs over here! Well, we only eat scallops! War! It's war! Scallops versus hot dogs versus hamburgers! To decide who wins the grill? I don't know. It's all dumb. It's all stupid. People don't understand the concept of like injury and death and stuff. No one understands the concept of anything because they don't live in reality and they don't have repercussions. All these punks, saying ugly things. Not one of them has ever been punched in the face before. Not a single one of those little punk monkeys has ever been punched in the face before. They don't even know, they've never even felt real pain. Imagine that. Imagine being an adult man and like never being injured. Like not knowing what pain is. That's pathetic. You're lesser. You're a lesser model. Your lack of experience makes you inferior. Your lack of preparedness and readiness makes you inferior. And you know what? I just thought of this. My people do suffer from lack of knowledge. Because believe it or not, you're my people. All you knucklehead monkeys that hate me and want me dead, you know what? I'm still fighting for you. I'm still on your side. Believe it or not. Well, not your side that, you know, the side that you're on. I'm just pulling for you. Because unfortunately, if you know it or not, you're working for the side of the evil one. That's how it works. If you're going out and you're trying to attack reality and truth, you're working for the devil. Am I an emissary of the Heavenly Father? I don't consider myself as such. I don't attribute anything to myself. All power is through Him. I don't like to say anything about anything. Why I was saved, I have no idea, because I didn't have to be saved. I was on, no one directly led me on the path. I feel like I was, there was a hand in my saving. For what purpose? I have no idea. No clue. But the least I can do is try to save, try to help some other people out. And I think a good point of contention is the fact that space isn't real. What we're told, how the universe operates, isn't real. What the Earth isn't real. None of it, like what we're told, isn't reality. And they're doing it to hide God, and that's important. So that's why I talk about the Earth being flat. Because if you can prove creation, you can prove God, and the Earth proves creation without a doubt. As does biology, but that's harder to look at. That takes a little bit of a closer look. But anyway, we're getting close to 45 minutes now. My phone's probably gonna freeze and not upload this. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day and God bless you.